from 0 to 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K. Like every milestone felt like, oh, I don't know what I've achieved. I felt like the bitch. I felt like the boss. I felt like no one's better than me. It sort of takes you on a ride. It's like a roller coaster and you're just going up and up and up and up. You're like living in this fantasy land and you're like, ah! Hey everyone, welcome to Dream Creator Diaries, the podcast where we get real on what it actually takes to build your dream life using content. My name is Prachi.
And I'm Harsh. We're partners in life and business. For the last 4.5 years, we have been figuring out how to grow online, monetize our Instagram, and turn our personal brand into a full-time income.
And that's why we started Dream Creator Academy, which is our platform where we help beginners like yourselves figure out how this whole world works without losing your mind in the process.
So if you want the real behind the scenes of being a content creator, building digital products, building a personal brand, and this entire influence economy, you're in the right place.
Awesome. So today we're going to be telling you how we became content creators and some things that you may not actually know on what it takes to get here. Okay, Harsh, let me ask you this. When you introduce yourself to people, what do you say? How do you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Harsh, and they ask me, what do you do? I say, I'm a content creator. Me and my wife create content, travel the world, and share our life online while being ourselves. Sort of the lines I go along.
It's sort of like now it's become like a thing, right? Like we say this exact line everywhere because we have to explain what we do, but we also can't just say, yeah, we create content. You sort of have to explain how that is a job because most people don't look at it like it's a full-time job, but so many people don't realize that it is. How does that make you feel?
It feels good, and like it's a good point which you mentioned that every time I say I'm a content creator, you have to clarify a bit. Like, are you doing behind the scenes? Are you like a video editor or something, or like are you an influencer? Like, are you out there? Kind of describe that we do it on Instagram and YouTube. And how does it feel? It feels good because I didn't know that I could call this a career. I didn't know that this could be a real thing, that I could just share myself online like the way I am and do that for a living.
Right?
Yeah, it feels very cool.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you?
Like if you know me in real life, you know that I'm not actually the person that I am online. It's actually very different. I'm way more quieter in person. I need like a lot more alone time. I take a lot of time to think before I say something. Like I'm not the person who's just like blabbing their mouth. I'm always very like perceptive, but I need some time to formulate my opinion. So I'm like very different like when people meet me in real versus when online, because online it's a curated version of yourself. So in person, I don't really enjoy like telling people my job so much because then it's like they look you up online and then they form an opinion about you. Or even like getting to know you, I don't really enjoy telling people a lot that I'm a creator unless I have to, like they've asked me point blank what I do for work. I don't really enjoy saying that. I don't really say that a lot. I'm always like, yeah, I'm Prachi, I work online. That's all I say. And that's how I get to travel.
That's a very good point actually. As soon as we say that we are creators and like we travel the world, I don't know whether they're listening to the rest of it or not.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, that's the
They've
dream life.
already formed an opinion, right?
Yeah. Last week when I met a couple of people at my training program and I told you that I didn't tell them I'm a creator.
Yeah.
I just told them that I'm Harsh and why I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Who I'm right now in this moment. But I didn't tell them that I'm a creator until like the next day. I understand what you mean. When you don't tell them you're a creator, you kind of let it be open to perception, because as soon as we see someone's profile online, you have created this whole dictionary about who they are.
Yeah.
Or like you assume that you know who this person is just by their best moments online.
Yeah, you're so right. Like when we started, we didn't really know where it was gonna go. We just hoped that we would get to travel. That was like our big goal, is like, okay, can we use this somehow to travel? Now it's become its own entity. I feel like now it's Ultron from Avengers.
Oh damn, nice
where
reference.
it just becomes its own thing and you can't control it. What would you say is like the hardest part about this that people don't generally know about?
Where do I start? Like, you know a lot about it, but the hardest part is the part that is not seen by anyone. That is the impact putting yourself online has on you. I feel that is the hardest thing. Yes, we have to figure the finance, we have to talk to brands, we are doing all the work ourselves, we are managing so many things. When someone in some corner of the world decides to come online, hit a like button on you, you feel good. But when someone decides to come and share some hate with you and just share some negativity your way, it can take you down a rabbit hole or like is spoken about, but you can never understand it until you experience it.
Yeah, you're in the shoes. It's kind of like if you were bullied in school, which I hope not many of you were, but if you were bullied in school, nobody else will understand what that feels like except you. So you will tell your parents that you were bullied, but they may not understand it if they weren't bullied themselves. So it's kind of like that, where if you don't experience it, you don't understand the sort of depth and impact it has on you. And that's the same way with like getting hate online or like being in this projection field. So what I mean by projection field is we put ourselves online, right? We have decided that, okay, okay, we're going to share our life, we're going to share our travels, we're going to share our relationship. We have decided to do that. People, when they view it, they don't actually view the 100% truth. They don't see the nuances. They don't see the crying moments. They don't see the sadness. They don't see the low moments. All they see are this curated version, which rightfully so, that's what we've been doing because that's what works. Like, people don't go to Instagram to like watch someone cry. People go to Instagram to like plug out. As a creator on Instagram or a platform like that, you have to look at what the viewer wants to watch and you sort of have to play into that. You're not really, sharing your whole life with them. So then there is this projection like, oh, you have the best life, you have the dream life, you have the best relationship, you have the best XYZ. And then people start comparing themselves to you. So from a creator, it sort of feels like, oh, now I have to be this role model to like these people that I didn't even want to be a role model to. But now because I have done this, I've put myself online. Now I have to make sure that I can't put even one toe out of line and even nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, you're like tiptoeing around the whole place.
Yeah, and then you do end up getting hate, which as soon as you cross like a certain amount of followers, like there's no going around it. As soon as you start getting hate, if you don't have a good enough boundary between your online life and your real life, you sort of like let that get into you. And I guess that's what you were saying. It's so hard to figure out where is that boundary where I don't let like the negativity online come into my real life.
At some points, I feel I have made my real life equal to what happens on online. And like, if my life is going great on social media, I'm living a great life. If life looks like troublesome on social media, I'm living a troublesome life. It took a while to get away from that mindset.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
On that, I have a question. When we started off and we started creating content and things started getting viral for us, how was it for you to ride that wave of dopamine release?
Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, like initially those first few months of like seeing the number go from 0 to 10k, 20k, 30k, 40k, like every milestone felt like, oh, I don't know what I've achieved. I felt like the bitch, I felt like the boss, I felt like no one's better than me. It sort of takes you on a ride. It's like a roller coaster and you're just going up and up and up and up. You're like living in this fantasy land and you're like, ah. That's how it felt like initially. I rode that dopamine wave. Like I was like, yes, take me on. I am in it. And for those first few months until like 100, 150k, I was just like, I rode that wave. But yes, then came the crash. The crashes, should I say, the loops that the roller coaster that went on. And then the roller coaster finally decided to go down and like, ooh, then the real fun started.
So like there's this point where you will get a lot of attention from the algorithm, and the algorithm is basically driven by people who are watching your content. So in the initial phase, maybe you start creating something fresh, people will start watching it, the algorithm will see that people are engaging with it and it'll show it to more people. That's when you start getting viral reels, that's when you see that initial burst of growth. We saw that. But after that comes the real deal. How do you make this long term? How do you make this concrete? How do you make this not just a one-time thing, but like keep delivering on and on? And that's what Prachi is talking about. That loop which you finish, you rode that wave of dopamine, of the hit, and then one day you wake up in the morning, and this is from real scenarios. You wake up in the morning, you're refreshing, and you're seeing nothing's happening. You're refreshing, you're seeing nothing's happening. You keep doing it, and nothing's changing. Because
like you're not growing, the follow count is now just stuck, and the reel that was now picking up to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million is just stopped, and like nothing else is happening.
Because if you ride that wave when you go up, how are going to feel it when it goes down?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we both felt that.
Yeah, I feel everyone feels that. Like even our students, we've received some comments, from people saying that this reel went viral and now I'm getting haters, or like this reel went viral and now this has happened and people are DMing me this. I can't say exact things, but you know what I'm talking about. Like everyone who goes on this wave, on this roller coaster, is bound to get a crash, but people are not prepared for that. They just want to go high, 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 high. They just feel like, yes, I want to reach the stars, I want to hit the milestone, I want to get 10,000 followers, I want to get 100,000 followers, but then they're not prepared for what that brings.
You have to be prepared for that. You need like some hard skin. One of our students actually became viral with one reel, and they started getting some sort of attention which they didn't like, and then they told us, how do you not go viral? But like that's a whole different conversation. But you got to be prepared for that, because with that level of attention, you'll have the good people, the bad people, but at the same time. So yeah, I think having a hard skin really matters in this.
Yeah, it's like a make or break. It's like if you don't have it, then I don't think you have what it takes to be in this career, because this is like the most brutal, I feel like, new age job there is. There isn't anything more like brutal than seen by millions of people and millions of people forming opinions about you and then telling you what their opinions are. Like, it's one one thing for people to have opinions about you, but then you open the gate to receiving feedback and receiving their comments, receiving their DMs, and then you read that. I don't think more people realize that it fucks up your brain. It messes with your system.
It does.
You're not meant to live with millions of people, but like with social media, you can live with millions of people. Like as humans, we've evolved to live in tribes, but then that caps up at like 150 or something. I can't remember the exact number, but they did studies to figure out like humans can only know 150 or like some number of people. That's their circle. They can't physically retain more information about more people beyond this number. But like with social media, you have like millions of people and then millions of opinions on you. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, like when you put yourself online, if you put something, say, linked to fitness, people assume that it is their right to say whatever they want to you because you have given them a space.
They call it being in the public domain.
Yes. So if you want to be a creator, you have to be in the public domain. And like if you talk about a certain topic, be ready to also hear back on that topic.
Yeah.
On your opinion. Alright, let me ask you this. We've had hard times. We've been on the road and we're constantly doing things. Days are tough, but you still have to show up online. How does that roller coaster feel like? Like I'm not feeling good. How do I present myself smiling online?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I've had like multiple opinions about this and also very like different schools of thought. On one end, I feel like it's our job. So if you have a job, irrespective of how you feel, you have to show up Monday to Friday to work. That's how you work. That's how it is. So if you look at it as a job, then you're like, irrespective of what's going on in my personal life, I still have to show up to work, which is like I have to show up online on stories or reels or podcasts or whatever. I do have to do the work. But then the other end, it's like, am I being my most authentic self? Am I being real with our audience, with our community, if I don't tell them that something's not right? Or am I being a good employee if I do show up to work? Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does.
What do you think about it?
This part confuses me a lot. I think that firstly, you're more vulnerable online for sure compared to what I am. It's difficult to like keep smiling when your day is rough and just go like, hey, we're having such a great time. So like imagine you fly across the world from hometown, you took 3 flights, you reached a different destination and you're jet lagged, you're tired, some things didn't go your way, your card's not working because you tried tapping it a couple of times.
Yeah, the airline people didn't give you water because they were cheap. True story.
Stuff like that happens, but now you reached a new destination and you have to share that excitement with your audience. Where do you draw that fine line of authenticity where you really express like, I had such a difficult journey without cribbing, I guess?
Yeah, because then you're also inviting people to like give you opinions about this and then you receive feedback like you should just be grateful that you get to travel, not everyone does. Exactly. Or you should just be, it's so hard to like be human and be real because then people like say this dumbest stuff.
No one on the internet is ever going to be satisfied.
I feel like no one in life will ever be satisfied, not just the internet.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you try to please your parents and elders, even they won't be satisfied. So online life is like you're just in a sea of parents and elders.
Very true. I remember us putting a post about going for a puppy yoga class and we put that online and someone told in DMs, why don't you like cats? And like in a very serious way, and I was like, I didn't say I don't like cats, but like they just took offense about us playing with puppies.
Yeah. So people will take offense on anything.
Yeah.
And when you have to be on, I mean, again, I don't want to crib and then have people in the comments say like, oh, you should just be grateful you have this audience, or you should just be grateful you have this life. Like, I'm very grateful. If you know me in person, you know how grateful I am. Like, my whole journal is filled with gratitude lists, and I'm very, very mindful and grateful for my life. But then at the same time, I'm fucking human. I'm allowed to have my emotions. I'm allowed to like not like certain aspects of my job. And it's not really cribbing if I'm telling you the honest truth.
You shared that, and I know still someone's going to watch this part and still in the comment section say something about it. Because we see you.
Yeah. On that note, there are actually some haters out there who think that we don't know their identity, and then they go online on platforms and to other people's comments and DMs, say things about us. Guys, it all comes back to us. We know your identity. You person, you know you're gonna watch everything. You're gonna take screenshots of our stuff and post it on platforms where you just gossip about people. We know who you are. So stop doing it. You're just embarrassing yourself. Side note. Sorry. Just had to get it out there.
Now you know that we see you. Okay, I'm just gonna go to one more question. Yeah. I know that it's the both of us. We have our company constantly. Also, we have such a huge community. But do you still feel lonely sometimes?
I've sat with this question. I've thought about this. I think we had a conversation about this, I think this month only, where I thought that I didn't have as many friends as I wanted. I felt like my friendships were not the way I wanted to be. Like, my friendships are very different. I don't know how to explain this. Like, you feel like you're not being yourself with your friends. I don't know how to say this. You know what I'm trying to say?
I'm understanding what you're trying to say.
Can you explain what I'm trying to say?
Like at a point you felt that you have to seek it out or find these friends, but I guess now you just realize that you're fine the way it is.
Yeah.
And you don't even look at it from a lonely angle because it's almost a projection of other people asking you, do you miss your friends?
Yeah,
Or like, do you miss your
exactly.
family? But like we on our own level know that we speak to our friends and family whenever they're free and whenever we are free. And that love will always stay forever.
Yeah, exactly. I used to think I was lonely or like I was so separated from everyone, like living this really isolated life, dream life, which I mean it is, but then also the projected dream life, which it isn't. I felt like I was lonely, but now I've sat with it so long, and when I'm by myself, I enjoy it. I love spending time by myself. I love being alone. I love doing things by my own self. I'm not one of those people that constantly require attention or constantly require someone to be present for me to feel whole. I love actually being by myself, and you know this. I take so much alone time. Feeds me. That feeds my soul. So I'm alone a lot, but I don't feel lonely.
Beautifully said.
On the topic of friends and family, what do you think are some things that our friends and family probably don't understand about this life that we're living?
I feel like our friends and family have grown with us on this journey. There was so much about this, about just being a creator, that no one understood. Even we didn't know how to describe to them. But even at this point, after seeing this whole journey, I feel they don't realize the randomness of it. There is one thing to be a creator with a set base, but it's another thing to be a creator with no base, being
Yeah.
a digital nomad.
To be a travel content creator.
Yeah, and we guys are in 2 suitcases and 2 bags, and we travel around the world, and we have no plan for what's happening next week. We honestly don't.
Yeah.
We don't know where we're going to be.
Yeah, and we don't live by calendars, so it's very hard to like align your calendar with your friends or families, and they're like trying to plan trips 3 months in advance, 6 months in advance, or like they're trying to plan an event. Maybe there's a wedding or a birthday. They invite you, and then you're like, I can't commit because I don't know where I'm going to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Very
so
true.
it feels like they don't understand that, and it's not to blame them, it's just that they're very different lives, we're living very different lives. Yeah, so you're right, it is kind of weird sometimes to get on the same page and like have them understand what we're doing or the life we're living. Do you also think there are people that we know of, like friends or family or extended family? What are your opinions? Like, I know what his opinions are, but I just want to hear you say, what are your opinions on like people who don't support this, or who gossip about us, or who don't like respect what we do?
Oof. I had opinions before about them. When we started off, I really cared what other people thought. I still do till a certain point, like people close to me and all. But if someone's not for what we do, or doesn't align with what we do, or like smiles to our face, but I know behind our backs goes and is dissing on what we do, or calls us out, or anything like that in a negative sense, I just feel like it's again their projection. I don't feel too affected by what they're saying or doing. It just feels like I don't want to come off wrong here. Sometimes when I hear people, and just not like known anyone, diss on what we're doing or like where we are in life, I feel like they really wanted to be here. They tried, it didn't work out, hearts got broken, they continued with their normal life, and now they see us here, we pushed through, and now they're like, you guys suck. Like,
How dare they?
how dare they?
Why can't I do it?
So it felt weird saying it out loud, but I feel like that's an emotion that comes off sometimes. This emotion I've only felt from strangers on the internet who sometimes give a passing comment or a DM, or have the audacity to put out extensive text on stuff and like shared. In a known circle, luckily we have people around us who are very caring, very loving. They don't think of it that way.
Yeah. I think also to add to it, the reason we have people in our known circle and in our environment who support us is because we don't keep people in our environment who don't support us.
Yeah, very simple.
Harsh is still like dealing with his people pleasing tendencies, but I have never been a person to just people please, so I will cut off friendships very fast. I feel like I've already said this, but like if I see anyone disrespecting me, or if like I find out someone's gossiping about me, if there are no vibes that are matching anymore, and like I'm very perceptive energy wise, and I understand if the energy is wrong, I am very quick to like cut off friendships or cut off relationships. I don't have to like pretend to like you if I don't really like you. I don't just stay friends with people I don't want to stay friends with. That's why now we have an environment and we have a family and friend support system that all actually support us.
That's a very good point. She's very straight to the point, and I love that about her. She has no filter really.
Yeah, I don't.
This is the way it is. As for me, there's so many filters. People pleasing is something I still kind of have not worked through. If I don't say the right thing in a setup or in an environment, I will think or overthink about it for the next few days sometimes. Still working around with it. And it does kind of seep through in life as well. And in content creation as well. Like it has been difficult to detach the people pleasing from online because there are like 500,000 people. How many are you going to please, Harsh? How many? Kitne hi log ko please kare wo?
Yeah, there are millions of people, you can't please everyone. But it's like a constant everyday thing. Like even I sometimes fall into the trap of like wanting to please someone. Like the yesterday when we were out with someone, with a friend and their friend, and we basically said something that we didn't mean to say, and then we were like, oh shit, how do we take this back? And like, it does feel like hard sometimes.
It does feel hard. Here's a very good learning that if you're not happy, people around you wouldn't be happy. So when you people please and have said yes to so many things in life which I didn't want to, you end up saying no to yourself. And then you go into this weird place where you're doing something that you never wanted to do in the first place. And you feel shitty. And then the people around you will feel shitty because the energy passes on. So just if nothing's working out for you or if it doesn't feel right, say no and try not to people please. I'm saying this to myself more than you.
No, but I like what she said. Like, the more yes you say to things that you really want to say no to, the less yes you say to the things that you actually want to say yes to.
I get it. You're almost there. You just
I almost like said something very
deep.
like
almost.
a quote, but then I forgot.
You said it right, but you just said yes at the wrong point. The more yes you say to experiences you don't want to have, the more space you make for experiences or things that align with you.
Yes, that. So those were some things that people don't really understand about content creation. Are there any other things?
Yes.
There's so many things.
At this point, we have been creating content for 4.5 years plus. If you could give advice to your version, yourself, 2 years back, what would that be?
2 years back, like we were already in the halfway point of where we are today. I think this is something that I've understood now, which I would much rather have understood 2 years now, so I could have prevented a world of pain, which would be to detach, to not be so attached to opinions that people have of you, to the numbers that you have online, to metrics, to, you know, the likes and views and shares, and like detach from all of that. None of that makes shit sense. It is meaningless. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is how you feel on the inside, and if you feel successful, if you feel ready, if you feel aligned, then everything outside in your life is also successful, ready, aligned, wealthy, whatever. You don't have to look for meaning outside of you. It's all inside. So don't be so attached to random things outside. And that's what I would say. What about you? What would you say?
I feel like this is something I've been saying myself, not just linked to content creation, but also everything in life, is that I am doing enough. It's okay the pace that you're taking it at. That's all I would tell myself, because I feel 2 years back when we were in that journey, in that space, I felt I wasn't contributing enough. And we have spoken about this, about how I felt like you're lifting all of it and I'm not able to really put enough effort to make this happen for us. But over time I realized that it's both of us making this happen, and we're like this. And I'm also doing enough from my end.
Yeah, you are.
But that cycle, that thought process, I went into that. Not enough, Harsh, you're not doing enough. You need to do more. That I would just tell that 2 years back, Harsh, go to chill out. Relax, buddy. You're doing good. Relax.
Yeah.
That's it.
I like that. So those were just some of our thoughts when it comes to the things that you may not know on what it takes to become full-time creators and to live this life and to live this job and to live this business experience. There's still so much we can say. We'll keep those for our future episodes. And yeah, we just want to say thank you for tuning in.
And please, if you like this podcast, hit the subscribe button, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. All you have to do is type in Prachi Harsh and you will find us. Your likes, your comments, and you following our journey means the world to us, keeps us inspired to share our journey as candidly as possible with all of you.
Yeah, so we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.